What is going on, y'all? Welcome to the Joel Friday TV podcast. I am Joel Friday. Bienvenido. Welcome to the show. Amazing stuff. Few announcements before we get started. Hit that like button, smack it. Lay the smack down the like, subscribe, and share button. Something's weird here. Tell your peoples about the show so we get the subscribers up and the message out. I know what it is. As you guys also know, it is a talk show, so you can call in at 888-775-3773, 888-775-3773, and we can talk about whatever you want. We can agree, we can disagree. I'm here for it on the name of Jesus, so you can call in. If for whatever reason you can't call in, but you still have a question or comment, or you want to support the show, you can go to buymeacoffee.com/JoelFridayTV. The link is in the description. Or go directly to the YouTube live chat, hit that super chat button, boom. Send your question or comments there. I'll read them live on air. You do have that option. Guess what? I am live on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter now. I just added Facebook and Twitter. Sorry, Rumble. Not yet. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube. I'm there. So if you want to watch the show or you know people that want to watch it on Twitter or Facebook, they can go there too. Amazing stuff. Also, shout out to IG chat, the Lions Den. Shout out to YouTube chat, the Snake Pit, and Facebook and Twitter. We got to come up with chat names. Probably ain't nobody even in there watching. But you see my mods are looking empty. You see the mods looking empty. Uh-huh. Talk that mess. Get blocked. See what happened? All the mods be talking mess in the Hake Report chat to me, and then come on my show, and then they think they still gonna have mod shit. Psh. They don't know me. They don't know the man. Alpha male. I lay the law around here. I am the law. Okay, I'm feeling bad now. I'm getting beta. I'm feeling bad. All my little alpha males gone. All my little alpha male went out the window. I'm just playing. That is hilarious. So, anyway, because not everybody knows what I'm talking about, so let's get on with the show. Interesting stuff to cover today. We're going to get into it. Where am I at here? So, as you guys see by the title, Terry's like, I didn't do anything. Terry, you did. That's the thing. You didn't do nothing. You didn't back me up. You didn't defend me. What the? Guilt disguised as God. We're going to get into it. I got a story to share. Something I realized. And it's very interesting how the devil works. He's very tricky. He's very sneaky and deceptive. And you want to know exactly how to recognize his little games. So that way, you're not caught up in believing the wrong stuff, right? So I'm gonna share a little bit of stuff that I've learned, that I'm learning, and some things that I learned that I found to be helpful. Is that the enemy always disguising the best way he gets people to deceive, the best way he deceives people, the enemy, is by making you believe that his voice is God's voice. That is his best game. It's deception, right? If he can get you to believe his ways are God's ways, he got you. He got you. Because anybody and everybody will see it through in the name of righteousness, right? Everybody wants to be a good person. Everybody wants to do good. Everybody wants to be righteous. Everybody wants to be strong and tough. So if all Satan has to do is allow us to believe that whatever we're doing falls into the good person category, that's all he has to do. He has to make us believe that. And we'll fight tooth and nail for what we believe is good, even if it is total deception, a total lie. And I want to explain how he has done that in my life and how he tries to speak to me. And if it makes sense for you, amen. And it makes sense for you as a lady, a woman. Okay? So this is how Satan disguises himself as God in my life. First, I'm going to start off with a clip. You guys may have seen it on the JLP show, but I want to play it on my show. I want to play it on my show so you guys know what I'm talking about. Here we go. It's the first clip. This is from YouTube.
Do you know the signs that you're getting closer to God? Number one, whenever you sin or even get the thought of sinning, it feels uncomfortable. You feel disgusted, or better yet, after you sin, you feel guilty and a deep conviction in your heart. This is a sign that God is working in you and that the Holy Spirit is dwelling in you. Having guilt after you sin isn't a bad thing. God doesn't convict us to shame us. He convicts us to lead to repentance so that we can grow closer to him.
So guilt, right? Guilt is a very tricky thing because guilt is disguised as righteousness. And it's totally from evil. In my opinion, everything I say, don't believe me, think for yourself, know for yourself, because I can always be wrong, right? But I'm going to tell you how it works on me. So what Satan does in my life is Satan will tempt me in my mind, right? He'll tempt me in my mind, the whispers. And it doesn't have to be actual whispers, right? It could be imagery, whatever. Like he's just in the mind, in the imagination. And then what he does from there is he gives me something that he knows that I like, right? And then I believe it, right? And I believe it because I like it. I like to believe it. I like the satisfaction that temptation he's giving me brings. So I go with it. And then after I go with it, he tempts me again and says stuff like, you know that's not good what you did. You're not a good person. That's not good. You should feel bad about that. Apologize. Apologize to me, right? disguising himself as God, right? And then I fall for it and feel guilty and feel that pain like, dang, that's not good. That's not good. Oh, why'd I do that? I shouldn't have did that. That's not blah, 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 right? He'll play on the mind. But then I started to realize that the guilt, it just acts as like an equalizer, right? We'll just say it like that. Like to balance out my fulfillment of these things that I like to do, right? So what the guilt does is justifies my sin, quote unquote, sin. It justifies it because I did it though I wanted to, but I feel bad about it now. And I should feel bad about it because a good person will feel bad about doing sin. Good person will feel bad about that. But what it's actually doing is it's keeping me in denial. It's keeping me in denial. It's keeping me in denial with the fact that I enjoy doing this. I enjoy it. I enjoy doing it. And I enjoy it in a sense of like, oh, this is so great. Not in that way, but in a sense of like, I enjoy the satisfaction it brings, right? So the guilt acts as the equalizer and it makes me feel better about myself, right? But then I realized that guilt is for the cowards. It's for the cowards. But it's disguised as if it's for the followers of God, children of God. They're so sorry for what they've done. They're repenting. It's disguised as repentance, right? As like, oh, I'm being noble. I'm being honest. I'm being what I need to be. So I'm feeling this guilt because that's what a Christian should do. No, guilt is for the cowards. Because it's justifying based off of you not wanting to feel like a bad person. It's about your feelings. It's not about actually doing what's right or wrong. So I realized, no more guilt. Own up. Own up to it. Right? You enjoy the thrill. Own up, Joel. So then I own up and I'm like, yeah. And then I own up. But when you own up to it, this is what builds confidence, right? This is what builds confidence, is when you own up. Why? Because you're being real with yourself. You're being real with yourself. You're being real about the situation. You're not in denial, right? You're seeing what's going on. And when you're honest, you're building that confidence. And the reason why you're building that confidence is because you're pure. Your heart is pure. Your heart is pure. And that's where confidence starts to come, because you start to realize that, you're okay with, not okay with, but you're quick to be honest about it. You're not running from it. You're not afraid to be honest. You're just honest. And that's what a pure heart is. You be honest about it. It's not about being perfect. A pure heart is not about being perfect, right? Pure heart is being honest, right? It takes courage to be honest with yourself. It does take courage to be honest with yourself, because denial is easier and people are afraid of what they're actually going to find if they dig and be honest with themselves. So it builds that confidence because you're pure in heart. And then you start to recognize yourself as, you know what, I am honest. I do want what's right, blah, blah, blah. Moving on. So then it don't stop there. There's layers to this, y'all. It don't stop there, because then Satan got to keep going, right? So let's just keep going. Let's just go deeper, because now I'm owning up. Now I'm like, Guilt's for the cowards. I have no more guilt. I'm owning up. I'm honest. You know what I mean? Then he says, then the enemy goes into mind, well, why won't you stop doing the sin? Yeah, you're being honest about it, but why won't you stop doing it? Yeah, you're honest that you like it, but why don't you stop doing it? Why don't you endure? Why don't you endure? And if you don't endure, guess what? You're still a coward. So Satan's back in the mind, right? Telling me, oh, you're still a coward. Because you won't endure. You won't stop doing it. And then I'm like, oh, shoot. Dang it. Why won't I stop doing it? Dang, why won't I stop doing it? He's right. And then now, and this is where I struggled a lot. I'm being honest with you guys. This is where I struggled a lot in this place right here. Like, well, then why won't I stop? Right? Because when you don't have the answer to that question, that's how guilt again tries to creep in there. Because then it's like, yeah, why won't you stop? Yeah, you're being honest about it. Yeah, you're being real about it. But why won't you just stop? If you love God, if you're a child of God, why won't you just stop? And I struggle with that heavy. And then I realized this. Is that God also has to give you understanding. He also has to give you understanding. I didn't know how to endure. And it seems so simple, right? It seems so simple. You just endure. And maybe it's more simple for other people, but my mind couldn't understand how to do it. Like I felt like I just couldn't do it, or like stop. I didn't know how to. And then I'm like, so Satan kept using that guilt against me, but I didn't realize that God had to draw me in to understand what it means to stop, and why won't I stop? Right? God had to shine the light even more. So I was like, oh, I get it. Right? And it wasn't me saying like, I'm being dramatic and telling, I'm adding more to the the story, but I wasn't like, oh, I get you now, God. It was happening on my behalf. Like he just was like drawing me more into the reason why I'm doing this and shining the light on why I won't stop. I won't just endure it, and why I couldn't. So once I realized that, I was like, okay, let's go. Let's go. Right? And then Satan is, just so you guys know, and I know you guys know, Satan is always busy at all the times. He don't ever stop, and he never will stop. He never will stop. He'll try to find ways to get in there, and he'll try to change it up and twist it up. So then Satan is in the mind after realizing how to endure, how to stop, right? Then he got back in the mind and was like, well, look, now you know how to stop, but you still have that satisfaction. You still have that, you still want to do it. You're still tempted. You still like the idea of doing it. Right? And then again, but now at this point, you're just starting to recognize it more. I'm starting to recognize it more. But it's true. That's the facts. That's the reality. There's still the desire there. But the tools are also there to stop, to endure. Right? So I realized from that point that you have the tools and it's up to you to use them. And if you don't use them, and this is what I realized, if I don't use them, and we don't use them, man or woman in general, then I'm just not ready to be a man. That's what I realized. Is that if God has given me the tools, but he also is telling me how to use the tools, and I don't use them, I'm just not ready to be a man yet. And I thought that was so deep. Because I don't know that the devil will ever stop. But it's not about if he's going to stop. It's about, for one, letting God draw you in. He's got you, right? He'll give you what you need. We don't have to stress about why do I feel guilty or I'm not a good person for not enduring this. Why do I like it? No, we just got to be honest about it. And God is with him regardless. And he will reveal all things. So now I see that with the tools, if I don't endure, then I have to accept the reality. So there's levels to this. There's levels to it. And maybe this doesn't apply to everybody. Maybe this is just how my crazy mind works. Maybe it's not the same for you. But I found it good news in knowing that I don't have to, and it doesn't mean that it's not going to happen, but I don't have to worry if I'm going to figure it out, if God's going to show me, if he's going to reveal it to me, if I'm going to overcome. All I have to do is just have faith, and God will lead me in all things. And you can relax knowing that. So, yeah. I want to know what you guys think about that. And my last thing, and then I'm going to get to some calls. You do not want to pretend like you know anything. You do not want to pretend. You don't want to act like you know anything. It's best not to say you know something and just leave it be because that's the setup. So you don't want to pretend like you alpha male. You don't want to pretend like you masculine. You don't want to pretend like you a virtuous woman. You just want to just be. You know what I mean? Just relax and have faith. So that's what I wanted to say about that. Anyway, I got some calls on the line here. You can call in. There's lines open. You want to get in now. 888-775-3773 if you have a conversation that you want to get into. I also have a caller that wants to talk about the topic from yesterday, and I'm more than happy to get into it. It's such a great conversation about dating red flags. We're going to get back into it, and I had some stuff I wanted to add to that too. So I will get to that, but let me get to another call on the topic of today since we're already here. Joelle sweating those paternity tests. I'm saying, you know what I mean? It's like, Lord have mercy. Lord, she said I want to give out the number now. She said I want to give out the number now, but she was giving out the number on Hake, and she ain't even a mod. No, I ain't jealous that Hake is trying to take my mods. No, I'm not. I'm not. You're jealous. Let me go to Anna. First time caller out of Toronto, Canada. I wonder if she knows Drake. Hey Anna, how's it going?
Very good, very good. It's nice to speak with you, Jesse. I've been listening
Jesse.
to you a lot lately. Yes.
This is Joelle.
Oh, you're Joelle? Where's my Jesse?
You got the wrong hour. Jesse's on from 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time. I'm on from 11 to 12.
But you know what? That's okay. I can still ask you a question.
Nice. Right on.
Okay. So my question was, how does the Bible relate to our lives? I mean, I know we're not supposed to believe in the Bible, but then how does it relate to us? Like, should we, like, is it really something that will enable us to draw closer to God?
Great question, Anna. In my opinion, and then you can call Jesse tomorrow and ask him as well if you want to. That's from 6 to 9 a.m. Pacific time, Monday through Friday.
You know I will.
Yeah, but great question. To me, I believe that we are the Bible. The Bible is in us, and the Bible is our true nature, which is the spirit that lives within. And from that is when all things are true. So before the Bible was written and before the scrolls and all the text or whatever was written, it came from the spirit within. There was no Bible all the time. There was no scrolls all the time. It came from somebody within, and the Bible is inspired by God. So it's not wrong to pick up the Bible and read it here and there. It's not wrong to enjoy reading the Bible, but where the problem comes in is when people stop relying on the spirit within and start relying on the book, and they make that their God.
Right.
Because the book is a remembrance, yes, but when you study it to remember, you're not letting it be revealed from within. So you want to just let life happen, and in the process, you'll start saying things and thinking things, if you're, working on yourself and seeking God, that you'll realize they're actually in the Bible and you didn't even know they were.
Right. That makes sense.
Do you read the Bible?
I do.
Nice. And how's that helped you?
That's a very good question. It's difficult to understand. And then I'll talk to other people and I'll ask them, well, what do you get? What message do you get from this certain passage? And how would you apply it to your life? And you get so many different answers. Like everyone has all kind of different theories and ideas.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. It can be very confusing.
The Bible.
Definitely.
You said the Bible can be confusing for you when you read it?
Yes.
And how so? What do you mean by it's confusing for you?
Well, because you're trying to figure out, well, how do I apply this to my daily life? And then people will say, well, don't take that literally.
Oh, yeah.
That wasn't, and you get into that. But if let's say you're feeling emotionally down or upset, and you go into, say, Proverbs or Psalms, that can lift you up. That can give you a lot of guidance, encouragement, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Well, and why do you what makes you read the Bible? Like what makes you open it up and try to learn from it?
You see, we've been taught. This is what we're taught from childhood
Yeah.
that this is something good, it's something you should do. Blow the dust off that book, they say,
Yeah.
and get into it. And then you get into it, and it's like, wow, I mean, this is deep, and it challenges you, and at times it's difficult to understand, and it's
No,
quite a read.
I don't think anything is wrong with the Bible, but I do think that the Bible is over taught, and the Bible, the churches typically, not all of them, will tell you to run to the Bible. The Bible's so important, but when we have issues and problems, we should not run to the Bible. Not that you shouldn't, but your first thought should be running to the Spirit within. We should be questioning ourselves within and watching ourselves from within. And then that is the real answer. You know what I mean? And I think people try to run to the word, and it is confusing. Sometimes it is confusing. And then we'll try to study it thinking it's going to help us, come to this realization of something. And sometimes it might when we're led to it, but we need to start getting in the habit of running to God with these things, directly to God, asking God to reveal to us, asking God to show us what's going on instead of running to a book. Because at the end of the day, it's just a book. You know what I mean?
Just a book. I think we revere it sometimes. We put it too high.
Yeah.
But as you say, it really is just a book. And it's God that we should be seeking the answers from directly.
Exactly. And it may not come right away. Sometimes we don't get the answer as quick as we want it, but when he reveals it, we know that we know that we know. We don't have to guess at it. But that's just what I think. I hope that makes sense, Anna.
It does. It helps a lot. I do appreciate that. And I'm thrilled that you took my call. That's amazing. Because I said, I'll never get through. I'll never get in. But you did. You guys took my call, and I love that. Thank you.
Right on. And I appreciate you still open to hearing from Joelle and not Jesse. But call me again.
I'm very happy. Thank you. God bless you.
All right. You as well. Bye.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Nice. Then he said, a blasphemy detected. What I say now, Zenny? What I say now? Yeah. Bible's not a bad book. I read the Bible for a long time, and it was helpful in some ways, but I put an overimportance on the Bible, and it allowed me to make it more important than finding within. I wasn't seeking within. I wasn't seeking within. I was seeking without. And the Bible will help. The Bible will help. The Bible's not, it's a good book, right? But don't forget where it comes from. The source is not the book. The source is the Spirit within. And we can go directly. We can go directly to the source within. And he will answer. And that's how we start to build, what would you say? We start to become more grounded in ourselves because we start recognizing the voiceless voice, the Spirit within ourselves, right? So we start moving different. We start living differently because the message that we're asking for, that we're seeking, is being revealed from within, and we start to learn how to recognize it. And that is your guide. Not anything else, not anybody else. Right? So that's what helped. But I still pick up the Bible here and there, and I still read books that I like here and there. I don't like to read, but if it makes sense, I'll read a book. I read some books, and some really good books that really helped me in a lot of ways. So, yeah. It's all good, Derek. I'm just seeing your message right now. So anyway, Let me get to some super chats and then I'll get to the next call. Lines are open, 888-775-3773. Call in and we can get into it. Vet Nurse says, I'm not really sure what Vet Nurse says. And that's what the word Vet Nurse is. You know those people who send you a text and then instead of sending like all they have to say in one text, they send like 10 different ones? Like 10 sentences separate, opposed to like all in one text. That's what Vet Nurse is doing to me like now. Like I'm trying to read in the middle, but it's not making sense because I have to go way to the top. What the? Let me do a super chat. Let's see here. Terry Strange says, I would rather be a doorkeeper in the house of my God. Oh, I see. Than dwell in the tents of wickedness. That's right, Terry. She's talking about in relation to being a mod on the JFTV podcast. I don't know, Terry, because you weren't backing me up. I was getting jumped. You know what I mean? Nah, I'm just playing. I appreciate it, Terry Strange. A real one, loyal. C-Sal with the super chat. Lord. Here we go. She says, if you're not guilty, are you even a Christian, bro? JK. No guilt, y'all. No guilt. Cause that just make you like depressed. There's never any reason to be depressed. There's no reason to be depressed. There's no reason to be depressed. So no guilt, y'all. Everybody know they ain't supposed to do what they ain't supposed to do. Everybody know that. You don't got to feel guilty about it. That's just the ego making you want to think you're a good person by feeling guilty. Ryan Moon says, amazing show, Jesse. I thought she was just playing at first when she called. She was like, hey, Jesse, what? But I still appreciate the call. How'd I do, y'all? Did I do it well? Did I answer like JLP or what? Come on. Jesse probably like, what the heck? Get him out of there right now. Get Joel off the network. Amazing stuff. Appreciate it, Ryan Moon. Okay. Let's switch to topics. Let me go to buy me a coffee real quick right here. And then we're switching the topics up, y'all. We getting back into the red flags. Joel, this is from Gregatron. Joel, I have 2 more red flags for you. He says, when a woman asks, what's the freakiest thing you've ever done? Yeah, that's a red flag. What the? If a woman ever asks me that, what's the freakiest thing you ever done? What the? Number 2, what can you bring to the table? Oh, that was a good one, Greg. What could you bring to the table? I am the table, girl. He said both are set up. I wish you would ask me what can I bring to the table. Well, I tell you, you can leave the table. I'll tell you that. What can I bring to the table? Lord, that's a good one though, Gregatron. You're right. Appreciate it, Gregatron. I wish you would. So, yesterday, we got into a discussion of Kel Samogi with the super chat. Appreciate it, Kel. Mic drop. Right on, Kel. Right on. Yesterday we were talking about dating red flags, and I got into a discussion with Serge out of Texas, and Serge was disagreeing with me when I said that one of the red flags were to vetting your dates, right? Going on a date and for the most part vetting them. And what that means is by asking them questions to find out if they're wifey material. And I told Serge, what's wrong with you? Don't be vetting. You should just be chilling, having a good time, keeping it light. And from there, you kind of would just get to know each other over time, right? Naturally, eventually. You don't have to try to get all the answers out from her in that moment. Because if you do, for the most part, she's probably going to lie because she just wants to impress you. And then you're going to eat it up thinking you found the one. Meanwhile, she lying. You know what I'm saying? And Serge had disagreed with me. And I played it back on YouTube a little bit. And I was just listening. And one point that I didn't make that I think Serge and Zenny, because Zenny also called in, I think Serge and Zenny was trying to make to me is that no, you got to put that pressure on them. Put that pressure on them. Right? And that to me, that sounds crazy to put some pressure on somebody. But when I try to understand what they were saying, I kind of get it. And I'm going to explain what I think they meant. And Serge is on the phone here. And if Zenny wants to call in, I have a little time to spare because American Anchor Baby is not coming in the next hour. So if you guys want to call in, I have some time and we can get into some conversations. I'll put a little time on it. So, yeah, what I think they were saying, and which I actually agree, is that there's going to come a point where you have to not enforce, bad word, but state your dominance. Meaning allowing them to see that you mean business and you're not here to play around. And you got to put your foot down. And when you do that, it allows the person to know the type of guy that you are. That you're not here to play no games. You're not here to mess around. You're not into all this childish dating behavior, that you mean business. And I agree with that. And I think that is necessary and you should do that for sure. But I think that will come in due time naturally. There's going to be plenty of moments that will come without you having to force it, without you having to vet, that it'll come where it's time for you to let them know where you stand. And when that time comes, then you give it. You give it. But until then, there should be no agenda, right? For the most part, because of course when you're dating, obviously there's an agenda. But you shouldn't be trying to test nobody or anything. Keep it light, keep it casual, keep it whatever. And then when those moments come, you're able to stand firm. But don't go into no dates, boy. Talking about some pressure. I want to put that pressure on her. So I have Serge on the line here. I want to see what he thinks about that. And we'll kind of go from there. Serge, welcome back to the show, man. How's it going?
It's going well. How about you?
All is well, man. Did you hear my little rant?
I heard it.
All right,
I heard it.
What do you think?
Let me start with saying let's try to be efficient here and let our answers be yay and nay.
Okay.
And because we've been sparring like what's his name? Stevenson, the boxer that be running. Is it
Which one?
SS Shakur Stevenson? There you go.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, when we be talking. But so I think you're right. You're spot on. I am saying, but here's where we disagree.
Mm-hmm.
You're right on what you're saying, but it's the timing, and that's what Becca was disagreeing on too.
Okay.
That's why earlier she messaged me and she was like in the chat, and she was like, "First date though." So that's the issue. Should it be right away?
What should what be right away?
I'm saying it should be right away, which is we should put it all up front.
Oh, put it all out there in the beginning.
Yeah. And let me tell you why.
Yeah, tell me why exactly.
Callers, when Jesse is getting callers and he asks them if their wife obeys them and they say no, do you think if they stated how things are going to be from the jump, that woman would have continued in a relationship? Like, you ain't working because, my woman ain't going to work. She going to have babies. She going to cook and clean. If they stated that from the jump, what do you think those women would have done? Passed on them, right?
My only thing about that is, and I'm not saying that it's wrong, right? But my only thing about that is that, like, people lie on first dates. People lie. People make things up. Women say things that they don't mean. Women say things they don't even know that they want. A woman will pray for a Christian man, but don't know what a real Christian man is until he walks up, and then they hate him, they reject him. So it's like, I don't like to base it off of what she's gonna tell me on the first date, because she's of course gonna tell you all the right, especially if she knows what you're about. Because maybe let's just say you go on a date and she asks you, well, who are you? And you go into like, you're a man of God, and you stand firm, and you want to have a wife who's submissive and is cooking and cleaning and do all that stuff, right? And then she just really likes you for whatever reason. Then she might just end up saying, oh, you know what? I want to be a wife, but really don't even really believe that. So that's just my only thing, is that people be lying, and women more than men, for the most part, be lying. That's my only take.
Yeah. Yeah, but what you're saying, Kill Smokey with the 2-hour show. Joel ain't working. He black. They still off the clock. But to your point, but that's after that, like, you get it out on the table, and they can be lying. That's fine.
Okay.
They're gonna lie. They're gonna say something, whether it's true or not true. It's up to us as the men to really vet, because we the ones that get to choose them, right? And so just continue to watch. But it's important that you move in a certain manner.
Yeah.
I was messaging with this girl. Yo, I'm such a hypocrite. I realize I'm not vetting a lot of women. I'm such a hypocrite. But I realized, dang, a lot of women have access to me. They message me all over the place. Some on this phone, on that phone, IG, and everywhere. I'm like, Mara, I'm basically doing what I told you not to do. But I'm not really doing it because it's not relationship-wise, but it's because I ask a lot of questions. So, But anyways, I asked her.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. Finish your point.
So I was asking her about a guy that I'm like, hey, did I not work out? She said, this guy did not present himself in that manner. We're friends.
This guy.
So if you're not presenting yourself in a certain manner, even the woman ain't gonna take you serious.
And what do you mean by presenting yourself, though? Could you give me an example?
So it means like you're showing interest in having something with her. You're not just playing around.
Yeah,
right?
I agree. Like intentional. Okay.
That's what I was saying. That was the buzzword yesterday. Intentional.
Yeah, intentional. Okay, so, but yeah, I think that, but I don't even really know what, like, what does intentional mean? Like when you go on a date, you sit there and you're like you're like, does intentional mean you're asking a lot of questions? You're trying to figure out, get to the root of like where we're gonna go. Like, what does intentional mean to you?
Yeah, intentional means you're not trying to do what Joel want to do, which is waste their time. No, I'm playing. Yeah, because that's essentially what you're gonna do. If you keep it light, right?
Yeah.
You just enjoying the bowling, enjoying the skating, enjoying a little indoor zip line. And if you're doing that and you don't ask the hard questions, you essentially allowing her to get old, and then she's gonna be Becca's age, and then nobody wants her. So,
but the thing is, I get what you're saying, and I totally understand what you're saying. But the thing is about when you ask these questions, you're basically trusting their word on what you tell them, and what makes them what their word, whatever they say, to be true. This is what I like to do. And this is my approach. And hey, I'm single, so I'm not saying listen to me and I got the answer. But the point is that like I like to discover the person. I like to, because when you discover the person, you see it for what it is. You see it as it is. You don't have to trust their word. No, it just becomes evident. And when you were just hanging out and you're just like, yeah, you're going to ask serious questions when they come up. You're going to, bring it up. You're not going to avoid asking the intentional questions, but you're starting to see how they react even on a light level, or how they react when you ask the serious questions. But over time, you're starting to see this, and then it starts to reveal how they really react, how they really are. And that, to me, is how you'll know what this type of person is about. Not just because she said that she's gonna be submissive to you. Like, to me, that's just like, okay, many Christian women say that they're gonna be submissive to you, but many Christian women also are crazier than the secular women. So it's just, I don't know. It just doesn't seem. But
anybody else disagree with what I'm saying here? I'm just curious.
Zenny, I think Zenny did. Yeah, Zenny, you can call in if you have something to say, but I don't know. Try it and I'll try it, and then we'll see who get married first.
Your stance. Your stance is the natural stance. That's it in a nutshell. You're saying that it will be natural, and it sounds like that's a good stance to take, but not in a relationship, right? Because a relationship is like a job. And if you just sit there, naturally ain't no job going to approach you.
Wait, a relationship like a job? Where you get that one from?
Me. Does it sound bad?
Why? What do you mean it's a job? What the?
It's practical.
I don't see I don't look at it. Okay, I kind of think I see where you're going with it. You like it to be clear cut. This is what. Just tell me. Oh, okay. You want it to be, just tell me, and correct me if I'm wrong, just tell me what it is. I don't need to have to try to figure out what it is. I don't want to put the time in to figure it out. Tell me what it is, and it's out there in the open, and we both know, and then we can move forward based off of that. Let's put it all on paper, so that way we can both sign it.
Are we kids?
That's a good point.
Adults?
That's a point. I understand that. But the thing is that, to me, and this is just my opinion, that is the easy way out. That's the easy way out, because what you're saying is that I don't want to get to know you, girl. I don't want to get to know if you're a good mother or to a potential mother for my children.
Where you getting that thought from?
No, but I'm just saying that's what it comes off as, because what you're really saying is that I just want you to tell me you're going to be a good mother so I can trust that, but I don't want to find
we're not
out.
Trust that. No, I've made that mistake. No, we're not trusting that. We're going to evaluate over time to see what she does, like you say, naturally. Yeah. So, for example, if she says, I think a wife is, one that cooks, cleans, barefoot and pregnant.
Yeah.
Now we're going to evaluate that. If she come over, is she going to be wanting some adult time, or is she going to really be cooking and cleaning? Is she going to try to add value to the home? We're going to evaluate that. One thing that I want to point out, though,
fair enough.
If on the reason why you should put all this on the table right away is because women are seeing men as gentlemen, and we're the ones who are providing for these dates. So how many dates do I gotta pay for before I realize she ain't gonna obey?
The first one,
when I can simply ask her.
The first one, you pay for the first one. After that, she invites you out, she paying. But I get what you're saying, and it's making sense. I understand what you're saying. You're not just saying like, oh, I'm just trusting her word. You're saying now you're trusting her word, or now you're taking her word, but then you're also watching if she follows up with the word.
Zenny.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna put Zenny on real quick. Zenny, welcome to the show. Oh no.
No, I'm here.
I know, but I lost.
You lost Serge?
Serge, he'll call back.
Yeah,
he'll call back. But what's going on, Zenny?
Chilling out, man. Eating a bagel. You know what I'm saying?
I know what I did wrong too. I double click. You say eating a bagel?
Yeah. Man.
Right on, man.
So yeah, no, it's good to have some time today. So you know what's funny, and I didn't mention this yesterday, but so what we're talking about right now literally just happened to me.
Fill us in. I'm gonna put Serge on the line while you're filling this in. Go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, like, I met this girl at the gym. She came up to me, asking, like, I was watching some dance video, and she came up to me, like, asked me about it. We start talking about Jesus in our, like, first conversation, right? And I'm like, oh, Jesus.
Yeah. All
right. This is a good sign. This is a sign from God. You know?
She brought it up?
I don't remember who brought it up.
Okay.
It just came up.
Okay.
But like the thing that really, because I wasn't like at the gym, especially because I work there.
Oh, okay.
I'm not really trying to like talk to any girls. Like I'm not even trying to look at girls there. You know? And it's difficult. But so she came up to me, so I'm just like, all right, you know, I'm gonna engage in a conversation. And but basically, yeah, we kind of hit it off. We started dating, like not dating, but like hanging out.
Yeah.
Like going on dates and stuff like that for about like a month and a bit. And then like, yeah, I kind of just got this like feeling where I was just like, all right, you know, it's working out. Like I like where this is going. Like it's time to try and take this to the next level, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, I attempted that, got shut down because she like wants to be single. She's like younger than me, like a lot younger. So it's like, I kind of get it in a certain way, but obviously it's like when you think something's from God and you're like, all right, and then and then it doesn't work out. It's like, what the?
Wait, so you got this feeling. You said you got this feeling, and then what was that feeling you said you had? That was telling you?
It was just like the feeling of like, okay, this is going well.
Oh,
like we're hanging out and like we have all these things in common. Like, you know, we're vibing. Things are going well. It's like not we were doing anything sexual whatsoever, you know. But we're just hanging out, and the vibe was good, right?
Okay.
So I wanted to take it to the next level, but you know, and so. And
did you though? But did you? So did you tell her like, oh, I'm feeling like what happened when you started feeling that? What was the next thing?
Well, I mean, like pretty early on, I mean, I could feel the vibe. I was like, okay, you know, like she's hitting all the marks. She's a dancer. She's Christian. All this stuff, right? Basically, those two things.
Okay. And did you tell her that I like you? Did you tell her at that point, like, hey, like I'm starting to like you, or no? You just kept it to yourself.
I never like explicitly said like I like you. I was just like I was kind of making it known through just basic kind of flirting. You know.
Yeah.
Here and there, like not too like heavy or anything like that, but just like the odd compliment or like whatever. You know? Yeah. But the conversation that we had yesterday and then your perspective, it makes me second guess. It makes me think like, should I have just been like chill and just been like very chill for like months and months and months?
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, no, because it's like, if she's not really like ready for a relationship, then like, do I really want to be like wasting my time, like constantly hang out with her and like, putting all my energy in someone who's not like really ready for a relationship when I obviously am?
lean on that.
What went wrong though? What went wrong? How did it go? If it was going so well, where the turn happened?
Well, I mean, it went wrong when I posed the question to her. Like, I was like, all right, well, like, you know, I'm ready to take this to the next level. Like, are you ready to take this to the next level? And she's like, no, I'm not ready to take this to the next level.
I see.
All right, well, if that's where you're at, then because it is true that like at a certain point you got to be like, okay, like this is where I'm at. Like, where are you at with this? You know, and if they're not on the same page as you, like, don't be unequally yoked, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of like throw a little scripture in there for you. It's like that's about like being equally yoked in Christ. Yeah. But like you got to be equally yoked in terms of like where you want this relationship to go or where you're at in your life in terms of relationships and stuff like that.
This is deep.
I understand what you're saying completely. And how do you know that you were ready to take it to the next level and it was time to take it to the next level?
How did I know? Because I just, you know, you can tell when a girl is special, right? When you see a girl and she's like, okay, you know, I'm all of a sudden I'm not looking at all these other girls. All these other girls are in my phone or whatever. Like, I'm not replying to their messages anymore, right? Because like this one girl is like taking so much of my attention because she's, you know, great. I think she's great. She's a great person. Right. I could see her being like a great mother and all these other things, right? And like all these, you know, ideas pop up in your head, right?
Yeah.
But
did you spend money on her?
Maybe. Yeah, I bought a meal. I bought a meal.
Oh, you bought a meal. Okay, that's it though. You didn't buy like a ring?
No. What?
You didn't buy flowers? You buy flowers?
No.
Okay.
You're crazy.
Okay, so
bro, a ring?
They said they were going on dates, Joel. That's an S.
Okay, so you didn't know. So you basically say you didn't know. You knew. Well, my point that I was making is that I like to get to a point where at least I try to, right? It doesn't always happen this way, but I try to. Is like wait until we both meet there. Because sometimes when you express it prematurely, maybe off of a feeling, which I don't know if it may just be a feeling because you're excited and you have this idea in your mind and it's just emotional type of thing. You like her. But if you knew that you knew, I don't know if she would be denying it. Because,
what do you mean if I knew that I knew?
Because if you had like an intuitive understanding that you want to take this person more serious, then it would all be understood and she wouldn't be not on the same page. So it makes me believe that the feeling you had wasn't intuitive, it was more a feeling. Because if you intuitively know, intuition comes from God, and God would have showed you that it's time to take it to the next level, in my opinion. But the fact that she didn't feel the same, it seems as if you were more into it and thought it was ready for the next level than she was.
Obviously, I was more into it than she was. I mean, for whatever reason.
So you,
Zinni, what do you mean by next level?
Next level, like going from simply talking to being in an actual relationship where you're exclusive with each other.
Zinni, there's no levels.
There's levels.
The woman shows. Let me tell you why I think there's not. The woman shows who she is right from the jump, and you believe it. And so if she, what if she's already a wife? If she's a wife, so she's gonna do wife things. And when you get into the relationship, which is marriage, because that's the only relationship that truly exists. When you get into the relationship, she continues to do the things that she was already doing. She don't become a wife once you put a ring on it and start acting right once you put a ring on it. The level is whatever level she comes in at. That's who she is.
I agree with that. I do think there's a process to it, but I agree with what Serge is saying in a sense that if you're on a date with like a real girl, I'm talking about like one who is decent and whatever, she kind of reflects that and you recognize it, right? It doesn't mean that now I'm gonna propose on this first date, right? But you do recognize it, and you don't have to go out your way to try to like put boundaries on her or let her know what she can and can't do. Those things will come, but yeah, you do kind of recognize a little bit that, you know, she's decent.
I mean, I disagree. I do think there are levels to relationships. It happens every day. I mean, around us.
What's the levels?
I mean, you've been in relationships, right, Serge? You've been in a relationship? Yeah. Okay, so she was your girlfriend, right?
No.
No. So you're in a relationship?
No. That's
so you were just dating. You were just dating.
No, that's so when you're talking, you can call it dating. Right?
Oh, okay.
You can call it dating, sure, but the moment the reason why there's no levels because we want levels to exist more so for the men, so we can take advantage of the women. But when there's no levels, it's automatically if we want the woman, full commitment.
And
full commitment.
And
I don't know. I mean, the level is to ensure commitment, not to. It sounds like you guys are trying to make it so it's more free and open, and I'm trying to be like, no, we need some type of like some agreement between the two parties of what this is. Like this is like
that's the thing.
Boyfriend, girlfriend.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, but
talking to other people, or
but the thing, Zenny, the thing is that a guy shouldn't be worried about that. Guys shouldn't be thinking like that. And of course we do, but that's a beta way. That's not a masculine way of going about it, manly way. It's because we shouldn't be concerned. We shouldn't be thinking like, oh, well, what is this type of thing? Because that means that we're caught up in the feeling of it. And typically the ladies are the ones who ask those questions and one of those questions. And it's better for her to wonder that than it is for us, because now we're going to step out of our way and be like, well, I want to take it to the next level. And what it sounds like to the female is that it's needy, it's like rushing, it's desperate, because what you're doing is you're putting the ball in her court, and you're giving her the power, and we don't want to do that. We want it to be. That's why I say let it be natural, let it flow, and don't put no titles on it. So the female is kind of guessing a little bit, but she's just following your lead in the way of you're just kind of just, running the show in a sense without having to say anything, if I'm making sense.
Yep. Spot on, Joel. Yep. That's what Zenny, when he's saying that giving her the woman should never be in the position to where she makes the decision for the relationship at all. At all.
Well, I don't view it as her making the decision. Like, I'm making the decision. My decision is I don't want to mess around.
If you have to.
And just do this like willy-nilly stuff. I'm letting my yes be yes and my no be no. I'm just putting things out there.
If you have to,
and if she doesn't want it, then it's over. That's me putting. Me putting the. It's not like necessarily an ultimatum, but it's just like, okay, this is what I want.
If you have to ask to make it special.
Hmm?
If you have to ask to make it, like if you have to ask to make this official or special, that's putting it in her court.
Yeah, she should already be in your court. Meaning, like,
so you're saying it should just be some unspoken.
Yes, the reason why is because you're gonna be able to recognize whose court it's in. Yeah. You're gonna be able to see whose court it's in, and you'll be able to recognize that, and you won't have to guess. If you have to guess it, it's premature. You know what I mean? That's why.
Guess what?
If you have to guess if she likes you or not, or where is it going, if you have to guess that and ask that, it's because you guys really haven't gotten to know each other enough. So that's why I say don't say it, because it'll be revealed if she's feeling you or if you're feeling her too much, and you won't have to ask. You'll just know. And then let's just say it comes a point where you want to, like, let's say propose, or well, it doesn't have to be proposed. Let's just say
straight to propose.
Well, let's just say like it comes up if you really like her or not, right? Then at that point, when you tell her, then she receives it in such a way she's glad to be with you, opposed to you having to tell her and wonder if she's even interested in you.
No, I mean, I definitely say you have a good point about like waiting until they both come to each other in a certain sense, where it's just not like one person pushing it too much. And, I'll admit, maybe I push it a little bit too hard, maybe I push it a little too fast.
It happens, yeah.
But it's a learning experience.
Exactly.
And all things, I know that God's in control, and I know he's telling me certain things. He's like, oh, you're willing to change this and that because of a girl? Like, okay, how about this? How about I just take her away?
Yeah.
Now what are you going to do, buddy?
Yeah.
Stuff like that, So I know God's what I in this experience.
Here's what I've learned, Zenny. It's before I used to think that women were complicated. Then I learned that they're not actually complicated at all. And they will actually, women are the ones who, if you, for lack of a better word, chase. When there's a guy, notice that if it's a guy that they like, all their so-called standards and criteria will go out the window. Picture yourself as a so-called famous person, for example. You don't have to say the right words. Why go black? You don't have to say the right words to them. All you have to do is say, hey. If the woman, don't listen to what the women going to say in the chat, because they don't know. They really don't know.
Go ahead.
She will pursue you if you are somebody she wants to pursue, just simply off the hey. Don't got to be no personnel, no special message, flowers sent to the job, none of that. That is jumping through hoops, and I totally understand the situation with the younger women and they're not ready. They're just not ready. So I understand that situation. But just know that if you're just being you, the woman will want to show up at your apartment, want to clean, but you gotta force those conversations of like what is to actually see if she's a wife instead of creating it.
Well, see, that's the part I just do where I don't agree with, but that's just a difference in opinion. But is that, for one, the girl to me is gonna have to be able to be interested in me based off of what she sees, not what I have, not what I say, none of that stuff. She's just gonna have to just like me for what she gets to know about me, because it'll be revealed how I deal with her. It'll be revealed to her how I respond to her or whatever, and the way I interact with her, because that's what she's really looking at. She's not thinking in this wise way like we are of like, oh, okay, well, that means she's not breaking us down. She's not being that observant, right? But what she is observing is our behavior and how we act and how they're judging it, right? And she has to be able to see that in me and recognize that in me, or I don't want her. Because I don't want her to go based off of my wallet, based off of the right things that I say. Because what about when I say the wrong things? You know what I mean? What about if we're married and I lose the house because the market crashes? Is she going to be able to trust that I can get it back because she knows that I'm following God? Or is she going to leave me because she thought I told her in the beginning that I'm a hustler? You know what I mean? Like, let it be revealed to her without you having to tell her. I don't think stop vetting.
Yeah. You got something to say to that? And before
then I got to get to the other calls, but any last comments that you guys might have?
I ain't got nothing to say.
Right on, Zane.
No, I got something to say about another topic, though. The first topic you had about
Wait, before we get to that though, Zenny, Serge, do you have any last comments on that specifically? And then I'll get to Zenny.
Yeah. So I was vetting a woman, and I noticed that she appreciated, and I was trying to look for the text message. I can't see it off top, but basically what she said, I'll paraphrase. I was taking her to Spa Castle, right? And that was going to be the date. And long story short, I end up not liking how she was talking. You know, she was asking me to, you know, to get a shape up and all this and that. And, you know, I'm curly head. So,
Yeah.
you know, I got curls.
Nice.
I don't got to cut my hair every single time. And the fact that she was so into the image, it turned me off. So I canceled it. But I told her why I was canceling it. I ain't just ghost her like Joelle would do.
But how did she know you were in? She was in the image, though. She was into the image.
How did I know she's in the image?
Yeah.
Because she was, you know, talking about, you know, like, make sure you, like, dress to impress me and stuff. Like, she wanted me to be what she wanted me to be. And I was like, listen, girl.
That's weird.
So I didn't, very weird. So I canceled the date, right? Because I'm not going to spend my money on anyways, I canceled the date, and I told her why I was canceling it. And she's still texting my phone because I told her basically what she did. The women need to be corrected. They don't got to be our wives for us to correct them. Men need to stand on business because eventually she's going to come out of that childish, immature state.
Yeah.
And she's going to know what all the men that are providers, what they are expecting. So they need to know that from the men because men are supposed to be the examples for the woman. So I wanted to use that as an example. That just went through that. By the way, this is a totally different girl. No, too many girls on my phone.
That makes sense. But let me ask this really quick. How are you going about finding these girls? If you don't mind saying on air, how do you go about finding them? Like, do you see them in a grocery store? You're like, oh, she's cute. She thinks I'm cute. It seems like, and then boom, you talk to them. Like, how are you, like, you know, how are you approaching it?
Yeah. So, because of my job, I'm always with dogs and walking them, and I was a streamer, so I had a lot of access. But I would recommend the natural process. So I agree with you, like just about on your day. So then versus the internet.
Okay, so when you go about on your day and you see him, what does that look like? You'll see him at the store or whatever, and then you'll talk to them, or like how does the moment happen? You don't have to explain a specific example, but is it you approaching them? What does it look like?
It's always totally natural. And if the woman is appeasing, you'll ask for her number. I don't do too much. So ask for a number, ask if she wants to go out sometime.
So then say you see her at the grocery store and she's in the aisle and she's looking at you, or you're just seeing that she's pretty and you're like, let me go shoot my shot type of thing.
No, not shoot your shot. You can see that there might be that might naturally work. You can just kind of feel it. Okay. I don't do it often, but in you'll ask for her number. She says no, good night, have a good one.
Night.
But that's it. Just I simply, hey, my name is such and such. I'd like to take you out sometime. I keep it simple.
I totally understand what you're saying, and I'm not saying that's wrong at all, because whatever. But I find that those situations are still not natural. I find that that's still going out our way because we have this desire and this urge to talk to her because she's pretty or whatever the case is, and we go do it. It's not really happening on its own. We're kind of turning a situation into something instead of it happening really naturally. And what I say by that is that every relationship that I've been into that I actually appreciated, like it was a real thing, whether it lasted or not, was when it absolutely fell in my lap. Meaning that I found myself talking to the person because an opportunity opened up, or it just happened. And not when I see a pretty girl in the gym and she's looking at me and I'm looking at her, and then I go up to her and talk to her and get her number. That's still forced to me. It doesn't feel natural. Yeah. Now, if I'm sitting down somewhere and, like, let's just say Zenny's situation where I'm working and then she ends up asking me a question about how much does it cost to work or to get a gym membership? and he says blah blah blah, and then it turns into something, and there's something that goes there. Boom, that's what I deem as natural. But when we go out our way,
I don't strike unnatural conversations and that to get their attention. So if the men are very intentional, I said this, and I'm gonna continue to stand on that. When we're looking at a woman or we're around her, we're really around her because we want to begin to know her, which is a form of liking.
But want is a desire. Want is a desire. Want is not. Want is not normal. A desire. Want
if you're
is
with
sexual.
A woman on a date, you are desiring the moment, right?
But when you desire and you're wanting, then you do what you can to get the prize. It becomes about getting the prize. So you'll kind of lie a little bit. You'll kind of move a little bit differently to get the prize. And I don't think that that's how it should be.
Remember, every time you say that somebody's going to lie, then falls back on us as the men to evaluate. She said it, but now we got to see if she do it. And she can maybe do it for a little bit and may not be real sincere. She's just doing it to do it. But it's our job to make sure that this is really in her and not just something that she's doing to get us. That's why we have to refrain from being weak and wanting the woman to get in our place, and we actually evaluate. But you are actually in that moment, from the moment you took her out on that date, you are evaluating.
Interesting.
That's what wait and see is. Evaluation.
Fair enough, Serge. Zenny, what do you think about it? Any comments?
About that stuff?
Yeah.
I'm done.
All right, okay,
I'm
cool.
done with relationships, bro. I want to get back.
All right.
I got one scripture point I want to make.
All right, cool. Well, Serge, I always appreciate the conversation. I'm gonna have Zenny on just a little bit longer because I started out with you. But good convo, Serge. Good stuff.
Talk later.
All right, man.
Yeah, Becca, I've been on hold this whole time. I mean, not on hold, but just waiting by. Anyway,
go ahead, Zenny.
You're talking about guilt and conviction earlier.
Yeah.
And I wanted to make the point that they're two totally different things. I think kind of using them interspaced. So guilt focuses on the past interaction, emphasizes punishment and condemnation, can lead to shame, regret, and self-condemnation, can be a barrier to repentance and forgiveness. That's like of Satan, right? Guilt is of Satan. I agree with you there.
Yeah.
Feeling guilty, that's of Satan. But conviction focuses on the present and future, emphasizes correction and restoration, leads to repentance, confession, and turning away from sin, brings freedom, forgiveness, and growth in holiness. So there are two different things. I just wanted to point that out.
No,
one is from God, and one is from Satan.
I think that that anything that has to do with a feeling, we've been taught to trust, and it's not good because the feeling of it is so easy to get. It's so easy to trigger a feeling, so everybody just ends up following feelings because they're evident and they're right in front of you. But the light is a lot harder to recognize because you have to grow into it, right? It's not exciting and it's not, out there and obvious. So it's more quiet and silent. But most people don't recognize that. But the light, once we learn to recognize it and grow in that will tell us what we need to do. And that will lead us and guide us and let us know like, oh, okay, like I'm out of line or I'm tripping or whatever. And that way we don't have to feel bad or wrong. And if conviction means that, then I'm with conviction.
Right.
I'm with that.
It sounds like you're describing the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
The Holy Spirit inside us, guiding us.
Exactly.
Us and
And the Holy Spirit
brother.
never makes us feel guilty. It never makes us feel wrong about ourselves. It builds. So it makes you see and understand what's going on. So you kind of almost have like this compassion for yourself, and you're not judging yourself for it. You just see where you went wrong and you learn from, kind of like how you saw the situation with the last girl. It was a learning thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like like Satan was telling me, oh, it's the Holy Spirit. Like, ask her to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Like, no, that was Satan. But it's like, because I was like, yeah, it was kind of like ego. It was like, oh, like, I don't know who else this girl's talking to.
Yeah.
Like, I want to lock her down for summer, make sure she's not, going here and there and wherever and stuff like that. So there definitely was a lot of ego involved in that decision, like kind of masquerading as like, oh, this is from God.
Yeah.
She's going to be your wife and thing like that. So, Joel, you got a point today, brother.
Right on, Zeddy.
It came right on the right time. Like, man, this guy's describing my life right now.
Right on, Zeddy. Well, I appreciate it, man. I always appreciate hearing from you on the show. I got to move the calls.
Yeah, check your DMs on Instagram, by the way. All right.
Everybody keeps saying, but I don't see them. I check them. I don't see them. Send me another one. Send me another one. All right, man. Bobby Blanco says, time to clock out, Joel. What do you mean? You guys want me gone already? What? It's only been an extra 30 minutes and I'm boring? Whatever, Bobby Blanco. Somebody block Bobby Blanco. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. Let me move the calls. I'm just going to finish off some calls and then I'll end. You know what I mean? I don't try to push it for 2 hours. But I'll get to these calls, check some super chats, and then even Stevens. Let me go to Flor out of Guatemala. Flor, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, Joel. How are you?
All is well, Flor. How are you?
Awesome. Good. Nervous. I'm flying out next Tuesday.
I was just about to ask you about that. Nice.
Yeah, it's going to be Tuesday, so I'm super nervous to see my husband, which is a weird feeling.
Yeah.
I just wanted to comment really quick. You guys are putting way too much thought into this whole the woman and how we are and what it is.
You could be right. You might be right.
You guys sound like you guys are trying to solve a math problem or something.
And we never solved it, as you can tell.
Yeah, I see it very easily. Like,
okay.
You, first of all, like, this illusion that you're just going to get to know your partner, that's never going to happen. You will always find, like, these new things about your partner down the road.
Okay.
As the years progresses, your partner becomes predictable, but it's still, there will be something that is new. It will be like, oh, I have no clue you like that, right?
Right.
But I think that what's more important is that when you meet somebody, you see what their values and morals and where their religion is at. Because then you will be able to know that whatever you're going to meet from this person is going to be based on your same values and your same morals.
Well, let me challenge you. Let me challenge you on that, Flora, and let me know what you think. Is that what if you meet somebody and you guys have the same, morals and values, and you guys agree, but eventually maybe he realizes he's wrong about something or he learned something new, and you don't necessarily agree with it? What happens then?
Then you just move on to the next person that will fulfill what you're looking for.
But my thing is that morals and values and like opinions on things change, and sometimes we're wrong, and sometimes we believe something that we thought was true, but it's not. And that shouldn't be the indicator to me. I feel like the indicator is knowing that you have somebody, a woman knowing that she has a guy that is ready to be and looking to be submissive to God and give his life to working on himself and putting God first. That's what's important because that way she can trust in that. She trusts that he's following God. And the man should look at the woman knowing that she's going to trust and submit to him. And not the words and the values and all that stuff, because that may change. Do you agree or no?
Oh, I kind of do and I kind of don't, because I think that what you're saying is like in that specific area that the woman is that way, right? Submissive to God, follows God. But doesn't that give you values and morals, but they are surrounded by God? Now, yes, they can they might change, That's a possibility too, Joel. When you get into a relationship and get married, that person might change into somebody that you might not like. But if you make a commitment in front of God, you're going to work through that. I think in the Bible it says in Corinthians, like, if somebody is not within God, you can, your job is to gently change that, right?
Yeah.
But, like, for example, if you're just focusing on about God, then I would say go and get a church girl. You know what I mean, right? Like a church girl. Like, go and get somebody who knows about God and is obviously devoted about God. Then your chances that you're going to get somebody who is like how you're describing, it's going to be pretty high.
Well,
but really,
go ahead. Finish your point.
But really, in the dating world, you're just going to have to play the roulette. Like you're gonna. It's not something. Like I was listening right now, and you were saying, oh, like what if you meet at the gym and your pros and the number? Like you can meet your future wife and husband anywhere. The place really doesn't matter. It's the person.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. I just the point with that was that I just don't think it should be forced just because she's attractive, you're attractive, you go. But the point is, what I'm trying to say is that I'm not saying that about the church girl thing, and I'm not saying it in that way. What I'm saying is that for all people, I think that all people, the number one thing people should pay attention to and what is most important is where their intentions are, where their heart is. So is your husband or your wife heart in the right place of what it should be, in submission? And if I think that it's important for the woman to know that if her husband is really seeking God, and if she recognizes that, that's all she needs to know, because it's not up to her to decide whether or not he's no longer of God because he said this that he didn't say in the first date, or he did, because those things are going to change. Those change. But if she knows that she has a good man and this man is doing the best that he can to do what's right, then she can lean on that. She can find, refuge in that, opposed to the other thing. And I think it's the same thing for the man to the woman.
Oh, yeah. I 100% agree on that. Like, we women shouldn't be the judge, like, if the man is a man of God or not, right? Like, that's our own personal work that the men have. But we also have to be aware, because we are also in danger of falling into the wrong hands. There's also men that are this guy good being bad. Somebody, it's the same thing that you were saying just a couple minutes ago. What if she's saying this and that she believes in God and that she's going to be submissive to the husband, but at like 2-3 months in, you're like, this woman is nowhere near submissive to God.
Yeah.
It could be the same to us women. Like, there could be this guy who's like, I'm going to lead you into the righteous path, and I'm a what's it called? I'm a provider.
Yeah.
I'm a husband. I'm husband God. And 2-3 months later, this man is just being with other women and just like being abusive and stuff. Then men can also lie really good. So that's why God gave us wisdom.
Exactly.
Right? And that's what dating is for. Because it's not like you're going to date one person and just because you're dating, you're obligated. It is recommended not to date around a lot,
Right.
But also, where are you getting these girls from, right? Like, if you go to the club, what type of girl do you think you're going to get?
Right. Exactly.
Right? But
No, I was going to say that it shouldn't be about what looks good on paper, because everybody is going to look the best. That's how the world impresses everybody. Everybody wants to just look good on paper, but within, everybody's all jacked up. So that's why I encourage people to look within themselves, but also pay attention to the fruit that people bear as well, because then you'll be able to tell how they live their life, what their intentions are. So I just think that women, when they look for men, they should be hoping that God leads them to see the type of man they are, not what he can bring to the quote unquote table.
Exactly. Because, Satan also roams this world, and he can be very persuasive and stuff. But at the same time, if you're not like, and I agree with you what you were saying a few minutes ago, like if you're hunting and just looking, stop pushing it.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah.
When I met my husband, I was in a van across the U.S., like selling magazines. I never in a million years thought that I was going to meet my husband.
Yeah.
I was just having fun. So it's kind of this. God has a plan for you. Trust in God. Don't force it.
Exactly.
Go to the gas station and do what you have to do. You might get her there, good or not. It kind of just works that way.
Yeah, I agree, Flora. I appreciate the call. I got some calls here that are coming in now. I don't know if it's based off our conversation, but I got to keep the calls moving. But thank you, Flora, and good luck to you going to finally meet with your husband. That's amazing stuff. So I wish you guys well with that.
Oh, thank you, Joel. I appreciate that. I'll call you guys from there. It will be cheaper.
Right. And fill us in.
All right, guys.
All right.
See ya.
Bye. Right on. Man, now everybody wants to get in on the lines. Let me get to William. No, I'm sorry, Will, a first-time caller. His name might be William, but Will, a first-time caller out of Washington. Will, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Will.
Okay, cool. I wanted to double down on what you were saying. I think that was like really, really intelligent what you said about how you want a person to reveal themselves to you over time, because a lot of times people do try to do that testing that you were talking about right off the bat and everything. And we know people hide who they are. They hide their intentions. They'll say what you want them to say. Or sometimes the testing that you could do can be too rigorous, and now you're causing things to happen that wouldn't even happen.
Exactly.
So revealing, wait. We're not patient anymore. People aren't patient anymore. We want everything now, instantly. So that's why most people don't even know how to let people reveal themselves to them. And the other thing I wanted to say as well is that, when it comes to human relationship and human dynamics, this is why you can't be lazy in life. I would say, study every day, study human dynamics, human nature, study these things every day. And there's a reason why. How do you know what to look for in another person if you don't even know what's actually considered destructive, if you don't know what's considered bad habits, if you don't know, that's why a lot of people, they get with people that are very destructive, and they say they tricked me, but they don't realize you have commonalities with that person. That's why you guys were able to
attracted
match together. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's people have to kind of understand themselves and then kind of try to look a little bit, but that's a quest, that's a never-ending quest. That's a daily or weekly thing that you have to do, is constantly try to figure out, for instance, okay, do I talk too much? Why do I talk too much? Do I interrupt people?
And you'll learn that as you're just living life and getting to know yourself. And I agree, I don't think we need to put extra stress and emphasis on it. But I do think that we discover these things about ourselves along our journey of life. But one thing I love that you said is that people aren't patient anymore. That's the thing. People aren't patient anymore. And because they're not patient, they try to get all their answers and all their questions in right off the bat so they can just already have their mind made up. But it's all for the sake of your own ego. It's all for the sake of you wanting to have an answer so you can know you can move forward with this wife, so you can hurry up and make your wife and have children. Let the process roll out, be patient, and you'll see little things along the way that are going to be no pressure, no stress, and you'll end up see if you like each other or not. So I agree about the patience thing.
I completely agree, and I wanted to say, as well as you form your character, as you keep forming your character, you're going to naturally test people already. So people that have to do like an over amount of testing and everything, it's because they have a weak character. As you form your character, how you present yourself, what you talk about, your hobbies, your prerequisites, all these things are going to be structured. So it's going to automatically push away who it needs to push away or attract who it needs to attract.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Work on yourself, and then that'll be the decision maker as you move forward. I appreciate that, Will. Wow, how'd you hear about the show?
I've actually watched JLP a good amount of times, and then I ended up watching yours. The reason why I watched yours is because you actually sometimes push back against JLP, and I respect that because I know what his philosophy is, and he kind of takes the like carefree, don't worry. But I noticed that sometimes you will notice certain things that he's saying may not be fully baked, and you'll just kind of add a little bit more to that. And I noticed that sometimes they kind of try to pressure you to conform, but you'll actually be like, well, this actually can kind of be important sometimes. So, that's why I just checked out your show to see how you handled callers.
Well, I appreciate that, Will. And yeah, it's okay to disagree sometimes. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing. And it's good also to sharpen each other by, standing your ground and standing on what you believe in. And it's not disrespectful or anything like that. It's just being honest, and that's just how I see it. And, I appreciate you recognizing that. And right on, Will. Call me again. And it was good talking to you. Great input.
Yeah, definitely. I'll definitely be calling in again.
All right. Thank you, man. No, Serge can't come back. Serge, you only call once a day. Boy, what the? You said all your little mess. No, I'm just playing. Let me move the calls, and we're going to end soon, y'all. I ain't going to be here forever. What the? I need a nap. Let me go to Frederick out of Los Angeles. Frederick, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
What's going on, Joel? Good afternoon.
All is well, Frederick. How are you?
Man, I just had a question. You were saying that wait and see, right? That wait and see attitude.
Wait and see, exactly.
Let them reveal themselves to you.
Exactly.
Okay. Do you plan on keeping your money in the pocket while you waiting on them to reveal themselves to you?
That's a great question. You know what? I never had to spend money like that, for one, because every time I got involved with somebody, they weren't shy to spend their money if they invited me out. I never had to.
You let a woman spend money on you?
Yeah. What you mean?
That's right. Big pimping. I ain't think I was going to get that from you. Okay.
Yeah, especially if she invited me out. But go ahead.
Okay. But some callers with that wait and see, they could be getting teased and pulled along, and they will reveal themselves, but they ain't going to reveal themselves like you think they are. They're waiting to see you're going to have somebody investing a long time for nothing.
Well, like
ain't
the
nobody
guy
out here got time to waste no time trying to get somebody to reveal themselves to them. What the?
No,
Look,
but you'll see.
They got this thing now. If you ain't serious about really like finding a date, they got 90-day fiancés. They got real deal.
That's how y'all be acting, though. That's how y'all be acting. Y'all be on some 90-day fiancé stuff.
No, I'm talking about real arranged marriages work more than in the United States. Like over here in America, all these marriages end in divorce. Everybody's dating. They like dating. They don't want to be married. You see the bouquets at the wedding. What do women do? They all run for the bouquet. The men, they run from it.
Yeah.
Come on, man. They ain't trying to get no tied down.
But so you wanna get those questions out the way right off the bat, so you don't have to waste time. Is that what you're saying?
You better know, or if you're not looking for a wife, don't let them know up front. Like, look, this is what I put something like I'll tell them I'm looking for 5 wives. If you want to mess with me, you're welcome. But you know what I'm looking for.
But what if you really
high?
But what if you get to know the girl and you realize, you know what, this one's actually a real good one. I don't want 5 no more. I just want this one, and I want her to make me 20 kids.
Who I am. Then she gets the prize of who I really am. Then, because she like, regardless, I'm with you no matter what. Good. I might not only need one, but no, I don't think she's gonna be like, cool, I'll help you find the second one. It don't matter.
Right. But so I think you should.
But it ain't gonna be no wait and see.
But hold out on asking the 5. Because you're going to run away the good one talking about you want some 5 and she just wants 1, and you're going to run away the good one talking about, oh, I'm looking for 5 wives. If you ain't with it, bye. Well, why don't say nothing?
No. Once you get a friend, they always remain your friend. You never break up and have no type of animosity with the female. She wants to be more knowing what's going on because you don't let her to better herself. So without the further education from you, she's going to stay close. Y'all going to be friends because she know she just couldn't give you what you want. She ain't got no reason to be mad because you told her from the beginning. But if she chose like, well, he's doing good and he's going to find his 5, cool. I mean, as long as you honest, don't waste your time waiting on somebody to figure them out. Like, they're going to reveal themselves and eventually, no, they playing you, him, them. And everybody's waiting on them to reveal themselves.
Fair enough. But as long as it comes up naturally, and she, and she asked at some point, like, hey, where do you stand on having 1 woman or 5 women?
A man should have an agenda.
But you shouldn't pop off right out the mouth on the first date talking about, I want some 5 women. Are you down to be 1?
Hey, a man should have an agenda if he's gonna lead. This woman wants to know his platform. What is your whole campaign going to be about? Like, who am I? She wants to know, like, yeah, I need this. You need to fill this role. These are the job requirements, woman. Can you do this? No? Well, move out of my way. I need somebody that can do this. Job requirements are here.
You need to go sit over there with Serge. You need to go sit over there with Serge.
No, Serge.
You and Serge
got a haircut or took her anyway. You don't just cancel dates. You let them know, okay, you can think that whatever. I'm still going to go on this date and show you how I do. You know what I'm saying? But if she, like, take the woman's advice. She's trying to make you powerful. She's going to put you in spots that, like, y'all can maneuver together. You don't want her feeling insecure, like, I'm with this clown that can't even pull up his pants or cut his hair. You know what I'm saying? She want you a representation of a reflection of the person you with. Come on, man.
Well, right on, Frederick. I appreciate it, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for calling me, man. Call me again.
Okay, yep.
All right, man. Nice. I'm gonna take one more call and then I'm gonna end the show. One more call and then I'm gonna end. I appreciate you guys staying for almost 2 hours, huh? 2 hours? Nice. Let me get to William at California. William, welcome to the show. You're on the air.
Hey, man, we need to name this thing the Love Boat.
The Love Boat. I'm telling you, change the name.
It seems to be a fitting subject for you.
Nice, man. Nice.
And it's good to hear some younger men talk about these kind of things. You know, because back when I was your age, man, we didn't have that. We all had to kind of fend for ourselves in that department.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. But as you get older and everything, you develop a little bit better confidence in yourself.
I'm happy to open up the conversation, that's for sure.
Yeah, I'm glad you are. That's cool.
Yeah.
You know, the only thing I can say is just don't force it.
Yeah.
Don't force it, and she'll come along, and, you know.
Yeah.
Like you was telling, what was you saying a couple of weeks ago? A little bit of sense of humor or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't date anymore. I do have a relationship, but I don't date anymore. But there was a little humor, but it wasn't opening up to everything that I didn't show her everything.
Exactly.
It took a minute. But once we broke the ice and everything worked out and everything. And like I said, if it's forced, it's not going to work out.
It's not going to work. Exactly. Let it happen. Be patient and let it be.
Right. Be patient.
Nice.
She said, hey, I said, what are you trying to do? You know, I broke the ice one time. We went out to lunch when we first met. It's been 3 years now, you know, and everything's fine.
Nice.
What are you? She said, I said, what are you doing? You trying to choose a player? She said, what does it take? I said, your soul. And that just broke the ice, and we took it from there, you know.
Nice.
You know, like I said, don't reveal too much so fast, you know.
Right, let it happen.
Let it happen. What did you say on paper? On paper, we look good on paper, that kind of stuff. You know, I didn't reveal all of that because I do have what it takes on paper, because after working all your life, things are a little bit different than when you're about your age, right?
And that's true. And I don't want them to know my paper. You know what I mean? I don't want them to know that my wallet is whatever. I don't want them to know this stuff, because now Satan gets busy. It's like, oh, wait, he got a little, you know what I mean?
Know she was, she was like, you didn't reveal all of this at first. I said, I didn't want to.
Yeah, right.
I didn't want to do that, you know. And then, you know, she seen what kind of parents I came from, and she said, oh, I get it.
Nice.
You walk the walk. I said, yeah, and I like submissive, cooperative women.
Nice. And she was with it. She was on board.
This particular woman happened to be, right? And we both were Catholic. I didn't even expect that, you know. I didn't even think about that being a factor and everything.
Right.
The woman of God and everything. But she says, you're not a Bible thumper, are you? I said, not at all, you know. But I mean, I am Catholic, and we both happen to be Catholic and everything. And she dug it.
Nice. You see, there's a natural, no pressure, no following all this stuff.
It was. That's like I said, I don't date anymore. You know, I mean, she kind of knocked all of them out of that wagon. She kicked them all out. She didn't. It wasn't. I guess it's just the person. You know, the person she was.
Yeah.
And like I said, I was a bachelor for many years, worked and traveled, played the bachelor game. She knocked all that out. Right
on. Well, I appreciate that input, William. Hopefully the guys are listening, and I appreciate
guys, it. Guys, don't just take it slow, guys. Don't be so thirsty, and you're gonna be all right.
That's right. I appreciate it, William. Thanks, man. I'm gonna end the show.
Well, you take it easy.
Thanks for calling.
All right.
Nice. Why, brother Mike over there? Last thing I just want to say, and then I got to end the show. Great calls today. I appreciate you guys calling in. Listen, is that you want the girl to be interested in you. You want the girl to be interested in you. You don't want to focus so much on like showing that you're interested in the girl. Yes, you will, and yes, you should. But the girl goes into your world. The point is that she has to be able to get on board with your world, and she has to like you. You know what I mean? Because it's your life that she's following, and she's just becoming part of it. So you want her to like you. You know what I mean? And you do that by not trying to prove that. You know what I mean? You don't try to prove that. You let it be. You just do your thing. And trust me, I know it ain't always easy. The feelings get caught up. You get in the mind, and Satan gets busy, and then you act up. I understand. But at the end of the day, you want to be able to do your thing and focus on your life, and she will come, and it won't be work and you trying to vet and you trying to like figure out if she's right or not. No, she's just so attracted to you because she sees the way you live your life. She sees your character. She sees what you're about, and she'll just jump on board. And guess what? It'll be what goes. Whatever goes and whatever you think should go, she's going to follow because she just wants to be around you, and she recognizes that in you. And so we don't have to go out our way to try to pick a woman and look for a woman and try to convince her that she should follow us. No. She'll jump on board. And the one that is willing to drop her ego and not try to be chased and not try to be proven to that she's special is the one you want to keep, because she realizes that you're special. You the man, and you're the one following God, and she'll see that in you, and then she'll follow suit. So I gotta go. I appreciate you guys tuning in. 2 hours, Joe Out Friday TV. I'm tired. I need a nap. But anyway, American Anchor Baby is not coming in right after, but he is having a show today at 4 p.m. You want to make sure you tune in. Don't miss American Anchor Baby at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you go. And this is my last day for the week. I'm back here on Monday. No show tomorrow for me, but catch all the other network hosts tomorrow for Friday. JLP Show, The Hake Report, American Anchor Baby, and The Fallen State at 12 p.m. Pacific Time. All right, y'all. I got to go. Shout out to the mods in the YouTube, IG, Facebook, Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Bye, y'all.